Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ibeth, and today I'm finally bringing in the patio makeover. I know it's been a long awaited episode, but you guys, I honestly could not decide where we should build the kitchen, which is why it took us a long time. And you guys, that's actually how life really works. You have to really plan out what you want and where you want it so that you're sure. But anyways, here we are. I'm showing you all the defects of our patio, which are the stains on the table. They're actually grease stains from when we made pork carnitas for Noah's birthday last year. And I know the patio just looks horrible, and I'm excited to finally get it done. So if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I repainted this table last year for a patio makeover, but I never sealed it. So stains happened and the paint started coming off. So I am going to redo it, and it's okay because I honestly didn't even really like the color from last year. It looked pretty at first, but then the more I saw it, the less I liked it because it was still too cool. So I did end up sanding the entire table as much as I could, and then I wanted to go with a warmer base, which is why I chose this really brown color. And then I used a brush, that way I can not paint it or completely cover it in paint. It was more of like a brush look so that you can still see the grain. So the wood tone does look really pretty from one angle. So from this angle right here, it looks beautiful. But then once you see it from the opposite side with the direct sunlight, it looks really, really brown, and in a brown that I don't like, which is fine because I was gonna do a whitewash anyway. So here we are with the exact same color, accessible beige. I still have a lot of this, and we are going to add water so that we can make it into a whitewash. So all we do is brush it on, and then you then wipe it right off. All it does is basically lighten the wood, and I love the way that it looks. And I am going to seal it this time because I do not want to work on this table again. I did go with the satin finish just so that it's a nice finish to be able to be cleaned, but not too glossy and shiny. My husband did help me with the outdoor kitchen. I did not film every little process just because we were learning as we went. And I think that everybody should do their own research based on what they need to use. My husband did waterproof it, which is the red paint. It's something that you paint on, and then he skimmed it with a layer of concrete mix. The whole reason why we went forward with this project was because I found these massive porcelain tiles on Facebook Marketplace. They were 24 inch by 48, which actually fit perfectly in our little space right here. As we were planning this kitchen project, I knew I wanted tiles for the countertop just because I knew they existed, one, but second is because I wanted something to have like a smooth finish because we are not concrete people. I've seen a lot of people do it, and I think that they look really good, but I was not sure that was going to happen here, and I found these on Marketplace for a really good price, and I thought they were perfect. It was just meant to be. Now on to the project that basically made it so challenging for me. It was definitely a test of how bad I wanted this lantern. Okay, I seen somebody DIY this on YouTube and I wanted to do it myself. They did such a great job and it was beautiful. I was obsessed with it. But here's the thing, they don't really explain how much of what do you add to the Mod Podge, for one. Second, I did not know how many and what size of jute cord they use, which is why I struggled here. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The first one collapsed on me because I used a really thick jute cord. For some reason I thought that would work best, and it actually did not hold, and I didn't use enough of it. Then I tried it again with a thin cord, but I forgot to stick back the pieces, for example the bows at the top that give it that shape on the top of the pendant light. It actually worked out great, but I hated the shape, so I had to redo it. I think I did this 3 times, so I have a lot to share with you on what to do and what not to do. Here is what I ended up using. Once you have your mixture, you mix.
So you want to make sure that it's not too watery and not too thick, because if it's too thick, you're going to use this product really quickly and have to purchase more, and it can get very expensive. After you mix it and you feel like you have like a nice sticky consistency, all you do is tape the top piece to the top of the pendant light and then bring it down and find the center and tape it as well. I did use a yoga ball because it was the biggest I could find, which was like the 36-inch, and I thought it would be really pretty. The bigger the better. But I do want to remind you guys that I made a mistake here. Make sure that the hole where you're gonna air out the ball is at the bottom, because I first put it on the top where it's actually covered by the bowls, and I had to rip the ball. So if you do decide on DIYing this project, I highly recommend that you purchase the rolls that I linked below, because they are actually like a flat roll of jute. So it's easy to dip it into the bowl and unroll as you're rolling the ball. And then after that, it's pretty straightforward. You just wrap around all over until you basically run out of the cord, or if you want it to be more busy, like more thicker, the better, honestly, because it will hold its shape. As soon as it dried, I hung it up and decided to cut the opening this way, because this way I felt like I would actually cut it out evenly.